Hey Dr. Alex, this is Brian from Leadhounds, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about why it's important to have a website for your new medical spa business, Blonde Girl Aesthetics, and a few ways that you can make sure that that website gets found by new patients. So I found your profile on Portrait. I know they're helping you out with building your medical spa business. I'm sure they're doing a great job with that, but I couldn't find a website. So I guess they don't build websites for you. So I figured eventually starting your business, you're going to need a website because as I'm sure you know, it's 2023. People expect to see a website from a business that they want to purchase a service from, whether it's aesthetic services or really any type of business. So if that's something you're interested in and you like what you see in this video, that's great. Just give me a call or shoot me an email after you're done watching and we can talk about it in a little more detail. But yeah, so first I want to dive into what a website can do for your business, how many patients you can expect to bring in, and how they're going to find you, right? And that is going to center around something called buyer intent keywords. So that's basically a word or a phrase that someone is going to search on Google when they want to purchase a service. So in the case of Blonde Girl Aesthetics, once you have a website, that's going to be something like Botox Miami, right? I saw you provide Botox injections. So you could really do this for any of the services you provide, but we're going to look at Botox as an example. So I went ahead and searched that in Google, Botox Miami, and let's take a look at what comes up. So up top here, we have some paid ads, right? You pay Google, they'll put your link up here, but these only get about 1% of the website traffic from these searches because people see this sponsored disclaimer right there and tend to skip over it. So next we can scroll down and we see right below those ads, we have what's called the organic listings, right? So these are the websites that are not paying Google to get up in those ad spaces. And up top we have some of your competitors in the Miami area, Miami Skin and Vein, GV Plastic Surgery. And, if we scroll down, what you're going to want to see is your own website. Or right now, what we would want to see is your portal or your Portrait profile, right? So I don't think they're doing any type of promotion on Google for that. So we're probably not going to see you, but let's just check and make sure. So that's the bottom of that first page of results. And I didn't see your Portrait profile, so let's just keep going a little further. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not seeing you on the first two pages. So that's really as far as we need to go. Nobody's really scrolling past that. And, your Portrait profile doesn't show up. That's okay. That's probably not why they made it. But what it means is that all the people searching for these services that you provide, like Botox Miami, they're going to be going to these competitors, right? These ones at the top of the search results, like Miami Skin and Vein. So the reason I want to talk to you about this is to show you actually how many people are searching for stuff like this, right? So we can take a look at that. Where is it? Right here. So this is a tool I use called Ahrefs to get search data. And I went ahead and searched for Botox Miami right there. If we scroll down, we can see that keyword gets 1,000 searches every single month. Look at this, Botox and Miami. I guess a lot of Spanish speakers down there probably searching for that, but that's another 1,100, right? We could rank you up at the top for both of these. And then you go down this list and we have a bunch of keywords with hundreds more, right? Miami Botox, another 250 searches every month, right? So just looking at what we see here, that's well over 3,000 searches just for Botox in Miami every single month, right? But if you don't show up in the search results for these, then no one's going to find your website or your portrait profile. So that's why it's going to be really important to have that website up for Blonde Girl Aesthetics and to have traffic coming into it, right? So I didn't really expect to find much here, but I wanted to see if there is any traffic coming into your portrait profile. And so I searched for your URL on Ahrefs, and we can see you do come up for 12 keywords, but you're not coming up very high, right? Moon Aesthetic, Miami, 27th position. So that means you're probably on the 3rd or 4th page of Google. And like I said, nobody's really scrolling that far for any of this. And I can tell, right, we're going to talk about this a little more, but this referring domains, also known as backlinks, a little different than this backlinks, but you only have one there. So that means they're not putting resources into promoting your portrait profile. And that's okay. I don't know if they promise to do that or whatever. Not trying to trash portrait here or anything. I'm sure they're doing a lot to help you. But they're not promoting your website or your profile or any of that. So let's look at a website, one of your competitors, that very clearly is putting resources into promoting their website. So this is Miami Skin and Vein, and you can see here, right, that backlink thing I was talking about. Again, we're going to talk about that in a little more detail, but they have 314, so that's a lot. But first, let's look at their keywords. So they're up here for a lot, 12,000, right? I bet they've been around for a while. But if you look at theirs, right, we can see some of those we looked at. Botox Miami, there it is right there, 900. And that's, again, 900 people searching that every single month. 1,200 for Botox and Miami. And those are in the first few spots on Google. See that? That means they're the first link that comes up. And for this one, they're the third. So that means they're getting tons of traffic, right? For Ahrefs estimates, they get 250 people visiting their website from being in the first position for Botox Miami. And that's every single month. So, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of potential patients looking at you. And if they're searching Botox Miami, that means they want Botox, right? And they're probably going to click the links that are at the top of Google. That's why it's so important to get high in those rankings. So how can you do that, right? How can you get to the top of those search rankings? And to explain that, I want to talk about 3 strategies that you can use to climb those rankings, right? Okay, so the first of those is going to be the content on your website, right? So just using your profile as an example, again, I know it's not your website, but we can scroll down and look at the content you have. So you actually do have a good amount of content here. That's good. You have your reviews, a couple services, and you have a decent amount, right? But you probably only have about, I would say, 500 words of content on here, maybe 600. And what Google actually wants to see from its top businesses is around 1,500 words of content that actually uses those keywords like Botox Miami, right? That's how they're going to know that they should rank you highly for the people searching on Google. So let's see what Miami Skin and Vein has. So this is their website, miamiskinandvein.com, and we'll scroll down and just see with them. So they have a good chunk of content right there. We'll keep going. So yeah, I mean, you can see they have a good amount of content on here, right? But they probably don't have those 1,500 to 2,000 words either, right? Maybe they have 1,000. So that means they're not going to be too tough to beat. Once we build you a website and add that content, if we just do that minimum of 1,500 to 2,000 words, right, you're going to be able to win in the content department. Okay, so let's talk about a second strategy, which is that thing I mentioned before called backlinks, right? And so what a backlink actually is when another website posts a link that goes to your website. right? And that tells Google that you're a credible business, because when it sees that another website, another company is talking about you, sending its own users to your website through a link, that gives them more trust in your business. So that's why they'll reward you by moving you up in those search rankings. So we can see you have one referring domain, that's one backlink. And, like I said, I don't think Portrait is giving you SEO specifically. We can actually look at what they're doing for their own website, or for their domain, like not just your page. So this is just portraitcare.com. And so they have a little more, right? So they probably do have somebody doing digital marketing for them, because they have 170 backlinks. That's a good amount. And let's look at theirs. Say, you might say, like, okay, somebody could find me from the Portrait Care website if they're in Miami, but let's see if they come up for any Miami-related keywords. I can actually search that on here. And they do come up for a few, but you can see that they're not ranking highly for these either. Highest position's 27, third or fourth page. Nobody's really looking that far. So they're not really pushing people to your profile. We can tell that. And let's see what that competitor, Miami Skin and Vein, has. Okay, so right here you see they have 314 backlinks, right? So that's the reason that they're winning. They're coming up first or in the top 5 positions for all these keywords, right? So what can we do about that, right? How can we compete with them? Well, we can actually go in and look at all their backlinks and go to each of these websites, and we can get you a link from each of these websites. And what that's going to do is it's going to match the same strategy that they're using to get to the top of all those search rankings, right? But we don't want to stop there. We want to continue to add backlinks until we have 100, 200 more than them. So we're not just matching their strategy, but we're blowing them out of the water. Okay, so that's backlinks. I want to talk about one more strategy, which is the Google Map Hack. Right, so that's this section of the search results where you see this little map and a few featured businesses, right? So it's going to be really important to get into one of these top 3 businesses, because they actually get about 30% of the traffic from searches like this, right? So how can you do that? Well, one strategy we use is called citations. Right, so that's kind of like a backlink, except instead of the website linking to your website, it links to your Google Maps profile. And that would be sites like, Yelp, Yellow Pages, right? You make a profile on there, that's a citation. So what we can do is something similar to the backlink strategy, right? We can look at your top competitor, in this case, Smith & Co. Botox, and see what citations they have. And we can copy every single one of those. And then, of course, we can go above that and get you 100 more, so that we're, of course, going way beyond what they're doing and make sure we're getting to that top spot. And other than that, we can optimize all of the different fields that Google lets you fill out in your Maps profile. We can geotag your images so that they're pointing to your location. And we can help you manage your reviews so that you are responding to all the reviews. And all this stuff is stuff that Google wants to see from its businesses, and that they'll reward you for by moving you up in the map rankings. All right, Dr. Alex, so those are the 3 strategies I wanted to mention. Again, that's the content on your website, right? You want to have a lot of content, 1,500 words, so that Google will reward you, moving you up those rankings. Then you want to have backlinks, right, to match that competitor, so that we can be sure we're beating them out by getting more backlinks than them. And then we want to get you in that Google Maps section to get you those extra clicks on your website. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was valuable to you. If you're interested in learning more, then just feel free to reach out via email or give me a call using the information here, and we can talk about the next steps. All right, thank you.